Hey guys, what's up? My name's Kayla from Planning with Kay, and welcome to another video. I'm finally here with my first video of 2019, and firstly, can I just say that I am so happy to be back. In case you don't keep up with my other social medias and you've been kind of wondering where I've been the last month or so, we actually just moved right around New Year's to a new apartment in Portland. I'm so happy to say that we're finally all settled into our new place, and I'm ready to get this show on the road. So I thought I'd come back with my much requested 2019 bullet journal setup. Migrating into a new bullet journal, no matter the time of year, is personally one of my absolute favorite parts of bullet journaling. But I also know that this first step for a lot of people is also the most daunting. So to go along with this setup, I really wanted to create a sticker kit of some sorts that could be useful for whenever you're migrating into a new journal. So today I'm going to be using my brand new Bujo Migration Kit, which is a 3-sheet sticker kit designed to make your next migration just that little bit easier. And it's available in your choice of either a cool tone or a warm tone color scheme. Along with the kit, I'm also going to be using a few other extra sticker sheets from my shop, and since I know how much you guys love when I do any sort of bundle deal, I'm going to be selling 50 discounted bundles with every single sticker sheet that I'm using today for a discounted price. As usual, the links to my shop and the bundle will be in the description below, so be sure to check it out. And I'm also going to be doing a giveaway at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around till the end to hear about how you can enter to win. Alright, so without further ado, let's just jump right into my 2019 New Year bullet journal setup. If you watch my last migration video, which I will have linked up in the cards right here, you may know that I love giving my migration spreads some sort of theme, the same way that I do with my monthly logs, for example, just to keep them cohesive and grouped together. So last time I did this, it was a floral theme, and this time around I wanted to switch things up, so I decided to use my pastel crystal stickers to do a crystal-y theme throughout all of these new migration spreads. So every time I migrate into a new journal, I always start my setup the same exact way with a year at a glance and a future log. My year at a glance here is just one spread where I can see the whole next year in one go for reference purposes. And I decided to also include all of the major holidays on this spread as well, so I'm first writing them all chronologically in a list on the left, and this is in a box that is 10 spaces wide and 23 spaces tall. Now for the actual year at a glance part, I'm busting out my small 2019 calendars from my shop, which already come filled in with all the right dates and everything, and this totally spares me the absolute pain of writing down all of the calendar dates by hand, and it also eliminates the very inevitable possibility of me messing up all the dates. So I'm just sticking these calendars in so that they have 2 boxes in between them vertically, and then 6 boxes in between them horizontally. And I'm then going to label the months with one set of these monthly headers, also from the migration kit. I would love to be your stars and moons, sun. After that, I'm going to highlight all of the holidays on the calendars so that it's just a little bit easier to see where those holidays fall throughout the year, and that's basically it for my year at a glance. I'd love to be the one who'd always say that I love you back. So next up is my future log, which is arguably the most important part of any migration, since it gives you a space to keep track of all of your upcoming future events and tasks beyond the current month. So this future log is going to take up 3 spreads total, with 4 months to a spread, and I'm actually creating some Dutch doors to separate things here. So if you've been keeping up with my monthly setups the last couple months, you may know that I've been playing around with Dutch doors a lot recently. I think they're just super easy and a really fun way to add some pizzazz, but also some extra functionality to any setup. So I'm just cutting off the right side of the first and second spread, and I'm leaving these little tabs that I can then label to show which months are on which spread. And you can see that I color-coded each tab using just different colors of my Crayola Supertips. I feel like this is a little bit awkward to explain, and it's a little bit easier to just watch me do, but I think you probably get the idea of what I'm trying to accomplish with these Dutch doors. So with these Dutch doors all cut out, it means that no matter what page in my future log I flip to, I can always see that far left side of the first spread as well as the far right side of the last spread. So on that first spread, I'm going to create my header on the left side, first with the just plain old future log header from the migration kit, and then just decorating the rest of that sidebar with some crystals. Now again, it's time for another sheet of calendars. These really just make things so easy. So I'm just sticking these in at the top of the page so that there's 2 months per page, 4 per spread, and there's about 3 boxes in between each calendar. And again, I'm then going to go ahead and label them using the second set of the monthly headers from the migration kit, just slapping those in over the top of all my calendars. Now, I really wanted to make my future log a little bit more robust this year and not only be a spot for writing down upcoming events or tasks, but also an area to actually brainstorm sticker theme ideas and YouTube video ideas for each month. All of my sticker and video releases are pretty dependent on the month since I try to keep everything somewhat seasonal and timely. So I thought having a sort of brainstorm section for these 2 things specifically would be super useful on my future log. And it also gives me more of a reason to flip back to these pages. Obviously, you probably don't also create stickers and YouTube videos. It's very specific to me, but I'm sure you can still think of a section or 2 that would be useful for you on your future log. For example, you could create a section for your main monthly goals, or if you're a student, maybe you could create a section to write down all of the big tests happening that month, or maybe a section for birthdays if you have a lot of friends and family to keep track of. The point is that if any of the more specific sections that I'm creating throughout this setup don't apply to you, just try and think of something that makes more sense for you personally and make those adjustments as you see fit. I always stress this, but the whole point of bullet journaling is that you can completely tailor it and personalize it to fit your needs. So if something isn't useful for you, just scrap it or try to adjust it to work for you. So finally, to finish off my future log, I just made sure to actually label those little tabs with the correct months. And finally, I just added a little bit more crystal decoration to the right side border. The next spread I'm setting up is my monthly review, which is essentially just a space where you can reflect on the last month and jot down some key points to summarize it. I did my first monthly review in my last migration setup, which just gave me a spot for each month to write down my favorite memory, the best thing I learned that month, as well as my favorite discovery of the month, and I absolutely loved it. I think it's really easy for us to just kind of rush from one month to the other without taking that moment to really pause, reflect, and think about what actually happened. So I love forcing myself to do this with this spread. This time around, I decided to switch up my categories that I'll be writing about. So firstly, I have good things, which is essentially just a little gratitude log for the month to write down a few good things that happened. Then I have music, and this is where I'm going to write down all of my favorite music that month. So whether it's new finds or old loves, I just really like to have a little summarizing section for music that I was really into. And finally, my last section is called stats, and this is where I'm just going to jot down my social media stats at the end of the month. And so if you're familiar with my last migration video, I essentially took this spread and combined my old monthly review, social media tracker, and playlist spread all into one spread here. Also, before I forget, each box here is 8 spaces wide by 10 spaces tall, and I used my mixed monthly header stickers to label each month. Next up, it truly wouldn't be a 2019 bullet journal setup if we didn't make a spread to keep track of goals and resolutions for the new year. While of course any time of year is a wonderful opportunity to set up new goals and attack them head on, we all know that there's something a little bit magical about New Year's that just is extra motivating. So I really like to take advantage of that momentum this time of year and create a slightly more detailed game plan in my journal for achieving all of my goals. So I decided to split my goals into 2 sections, business and personal, and I'm creating 2 columns for each, one labeled goals and one labeled tasks, and I'm using these headers that are also included in the migration kit. While I could probably come up with 100 things that I want to do this year, I decided to limit myself here to my top 5 goals for each section. So this way, instead of getting overwhelmed with a huge list of goals that I have no idea how I'm going to accomplish, I can instead whittle those down to my top 10 things that matter most to me at this moment, and I can just focus in on those with a lot more attention and care. And for each goal that I write down, under tasks, I'm going to jot down some more specific action items that I can actually start doing right away. This part, I think, is really critical when it comes to goal setting. It's really like they say, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So really try to break your goals down into doable tasks that you can complete on a daily, weekly, monthly, or whatever type of basis you need to achieve that goal. I wanted to give you a few examples here. So for one of my goals, which is to get in better shape, I decided to make my tasks work out 4 times a week, drink water every day, and be more mindful about my meals. And another example for my goal, make more music, I wrote down play ukulele every day and keep a song journal as my tasks. So once you've brainstormed your goals and the corresponding tasks, it's then up to you to come back to this spread every month or every week and schedule those tasks into your monthly or weekly schedule. So that way you're held accountable and you don't forget to follow through on those actions. So now that I've brainstormed and given thought to all of the main goals that I have for this new year, I usually like to follow that up with a wish list. My New Year wish list is simply a space to jot down purchases I want to make as soon as possible. I love creating this right after I think about all of my goals, just in case any of those goals actually rely on acquiring some new equipment or new supplies. For example, one of my New Year's goals is to make more art. So to do that, maybe I need to go buy a new set of paintbrushes, and I would just write that down on my wish list. Since I also just moved, this wish list for me personally is largely serving as a space to jot down things that we still need to buy to fill up our new space. Things like little missing bits of furniture, office supplies, etc. So I'm splitting my wish list into 4 sections, which is home, business, furniture, and other, and I can then check off the box when I've purchased that item. Besides my wish list, I'm also going to create a New Year brain dump. Like I mentioned earlier, something about the new year really inspires us to just take charge and set intentions, and personally, my head is always buzzing with a million ideas this time of year. While I really didn't want to clutter up my goals and resolution spread with every little stray thought or desire that I have for the new year, I still wanted a space to capture these ideas before I lose that drive and motivation and just forget about them. So that's exactly where this brain dump comes in. I divided this up into 4 sections, those being stickers, Patreon, YouTube, and other, and I'll be using these spaces to jot down all of those stray ideas that I have for 2019. So the final spread that I'm setting up today is my ideal schedule. This is a new addition to my migration setup, but I thought that it would be a very useful spread, especially at the new year, tying into all those goals that I set earlier. So on the left side, I'm creating my ideal daily schedule itself, going from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., and I'm going to think about what my ideal workday would look like in this case. Just starting off by blocking off some general time chunks for my morning routine, my work hours, my meals, and any free time. Then next to each time block, I'm going to brainstorm a ton of specific tasks that I could possibly accomplish during that time. And remember, I'm making sure to think about those resolutions I set earlier, so that way I can try and fit those action items into my actual schedule. For example, to fit in my new workout schedule that I'm trying to stick to, I'm adapting my schedule to wake up a bit earlier, so that way I can get my workouts done first thing in the morning. Now, this ideal schedule is obviously not reality, that's why we call it ideal. Realistically, I'm not going to be getting all of these many things done each and every day, but this at least gives me an idea of what I could be getting done in a day. Or if I'm feeling a little bit lost or unmotivated one day and just need some ideas of how to productively fill my day while also working towards my goals. So on the right side of the spread, I am going to create 3 sections titled Daily, Weekly, and Monthly. And this is where I'm going to keep lists of important recurring tasks that I want to be doing on either a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. Again, being sure to keep in mind all of the goals that I want to achieve this year. The idea here is that when I'm setting up my monthly, weekly, or daily logs throughout the year, I can really easily just flip to this spread and transfer over all of those recurring tasks to the appropriate log. And this way, I don't have to clutter up my future log with these various tasks that really need to happen no matter the month. I've been wanting to do a page like this for a while actually, but for whatever reason, I never got around to it. But I actually saw that Amanda Rach Lee did something similar to this in her 2019 setup, so I decided to take her lead and finally pull the trigger on this one. And I'm very happy I did, and it really fits perfectly with my ideal schedule right here on this spread. So for the finishing touch on my new 2019 setup, I'm just going to take the last stickers I have here, which are for the key and index, and I'm going to stick those in over the titles already included in this Scribbles That Matter notebook so it's all matching. And with that, I am completely done migrating into my new bullet journal. I hope you guys enjoyed my setup today, and I hope it gave you some ideas for your next bullet journal. Don't forget to check out the new Bujo Migration Kit available in 2 color options in my sticker shop, along with the discounted bundle that I mentioned earlier that's going to include every single sticker that I used today. And don't fret if that bundle does sell out, because all of the individual stickers are still going to be available in my shop. Finally, to celebrate the new year and also to commemorate reaching 80,000 subscribers, I'm doing my first ever giveaway here on my channel. So one lucky winner is going to receive a Bujo Migration Kit in their choice of color, an official bullet journal Leuchtturm 1917, and finally, the book, The Bullet Journal Method. So to enter this giveaway, all you have to do is click the giveaway link in the description below, follow the instructions, and I'll be choosing a random winner in 1 week on Sunday, the 27th. All right, guys, that's it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a like, and let me know in the comments below what video you want to see next. Follow me on Instagram if you're not already at PlanningWithKay. And don't forget to check out the links to my shop, the giveaway, and all of my other social medias in the description below. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.